Hello people, this is Mark from KharisChangeWorks. Guys, hope that you're well. I've been thinking about two words. I've made a playlist on one of them already. That will obviously need some more videos, and that is the word resilience. And I've been considering its counterpart, which is very similar to resilience. However, it's not quite the same. And that word is called tenacity. Tenacity. Now, I want to quickly recap on what resilience is. Resilience is this ability to get back up, to return back to default. It is effectively like an elastic band that you can stretch out and then it returns back to its natural state. So that's resilience. So when people go through tough times and difficulties and stuff like that, their resilience is the thing that will return them back. So they'll be stretched and go through whatever experiences they go through, and then they will return back to default. Meaning they'll go back to how they really are. Resilience. So let's consider tenacity. Now, to be tenacious is very similar. However, it's not this returning back. The tenacious is to keep going. Regardless how many times you get pulled back, you get stretched and you get returned back to normal resilience. But what tenacity says, regardless of how many times I get pulled away from my normal default position, I'm going to keep on going till I achieve my goal. It is this, I'm not going to give up attitude. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep on pressing. I'm going to keep on striving. I'm going to keep on moving forward regardless of the obstacles that are in my way. Consider this. In today's society, we live in a disposable society. You know, when I grew up, you went to the shop and you bought a refill for your pen. You fixed the puncture on your bike. You fixed the puncture on your car. That kind of thing. If your clothes tore, you took it to a seamstress and they would fix it for you. If you were lucky enough to have a family member who could do sewing and clothes repairs, they would do it for you. In today's society, because of this disposable attitude, people have lost both resilience as well as tenacity. And it nearly appears to me that as soon as people experience a few heartaches, a few difficulties, they just throw in the towel as to say, I give up. My question is, why? Where has this come from? Now, we could turn around and say that the one generation needs to kind of coach the next generation, and that generation then in turn coaches the following generation, and so on. So when you've got your initial generation that has lost its tenacity, its resilience, there is nowhere on God's green earth that original flawed generation can then teach the next generation, because you can't teach something that you don't know. You can't express it, can you? Really, let's be honest. So we need to not look at the generation where we are now. It's not their fault that they're not tenacious. It's not their fault that they're not resilient. We need to go back at least one, maybe two, even three generations where this whole slack attitude in life has come about. There are some people who are incredibly tenacious. They are doggedly determined to get the end result. They will press on regardless. their resilience that runs parallel to the tenacity makes those folk tough and strong and hard, wise. That's it. So the thing here is, in my eyes, we need to teach our generation, for argument's sake, my kids, your kids, somewhere along the line we need to teach them what tenacity and resilience is all about. Now, I hear you say, well, what's your opinion on how you get this? How do you become tenacious? How do you become resilient? Well, you don't get it from eating chappies and ice cream. You don't get it from having life so sweet and easy. You don't get it by having things go your way. That's the exact opposite. That is what breaks down the resilience and tenacious attitudes in people, is ease. You become tough mentally, emotionally, psychologically. You become tough only when you experience difficulties. When you have to climb up that mountain and you've got to problem solve as you go along up this particular mountain, only then will you say, crumbs, I'm weak in certain areas, I need to do something about it. And the more you experience these problems, difficulties, you become wiser. That's the only way, my friend. Is it that the universe is trying to teach you something when you're going through that tough time? I made a video only a couple of days or so ago where I talk about, is there light at the end of the tunnel? And of course, if you've watched the video, you will see that there is, depending on how you look at your problem. Are you looking at it subjectively or are you looking at it objectively? That might not make sense if you haven't seen it. Go view it, it's good. And in the end, I talk about the end result is you grow when you look back at your difficulties. Now, my friend, that is the only thing that will help you become resilient and tenacious. So when things go tough and it's hard and it's difficult and you scratching your head, I mean, if you look at me, I'm losing my hair. Not because of any other reason, but I've had to really scratch my head in the past regarding survival. That's why I believe I'm quite tenacious. I'm very resilient. So I'm saying to you, it's like going to the gym. Now, I used to go to the gym all the time. I don't have any money to go to the gym. But when you go out and you start doing your exercises, when you start going, it seems quite easy. The next day, when you start walking like a stick man, it's because your muscles haven't been used for a while. To become tenacious and resilient is exactly the same. It seems easy till you go on that exercise regime where you are being pushed to your limits. And when your mental and your emotional and your psychological, even I would dare say your spiritual existence is being worked out in terms of going to the gym, and you wake up the following day and you feel stiff and you feel sore and all your muscles ache emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, it's because you've been in a workout. But no one complains 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months down the line when your body starts to become more flexible and supple and you start looking good because you're working out. No one moans about it then. But they moan in the beginning because it's new, it's different. You find muscles and places of aching where you forgot that you even had. So what I'm saying is embrace problems in your life. Embrace those difficulties. It's the only way you grow. It's the only way you become tenacious and resilient. That's all I want to say. Our generation, my parents' generation, the responsibility lies on us to break the curse of having things too easy for our children. Because I think it is a curse. Our generation is so weak in terms of their resilience, and they just give up, they just dispose. It's so easy, it's so easy, it's so easy. Because they don't know what else to do. They've got no emotional, no psychological, there's no struggle reference point in their little lives. And when things go a little bit strong, they just pack it in because they haven't got what it takes to fight through these battles up until the point where they've done it a number of times and then they realize, geez, this is a good thing. And you embrace it and you become stronger. So, when you are going through your tough time, my friend, maybe you are growing. Maybe your being is being worked out like as if you were going to the gym. Embrace it. Because 4 months, 5 months, 6 months down the year, a year down the line, you will look back and go, it was worth all of that effort. That pain was worth it. Pain here meaning being sore and stuff because it's new. It's different. I'm encouraging you now to embrace these struggles. Embrace the hardships. Because you ultimately will be the one that will reap dividends from all of that. That's all I want to say in this particular video. Tenacity and resilience hand in hand is a winning combination if you possess both those qualities. There you go. I hope this video has caused you to think a little bit about your own strength of character, your own strength in your own nature, your abilities. I hope it has. If it has, put that in the comments box. I'd like to hear your story. Other than that, standard YouTube admin, share, subscribe, tell all your friends and family to do exactly the same. Hit the bell, pick all, then you'll get all the videos that we upload on a day-to-day basis. For now, this is Mark from KharisChangeWorks. I'll speak to you soon.